Welcome back to the League of Hustlers. I'm your co-host HT.
I'm CD Barnes.
Prepare to prosper. This is where we prepare to prosper. All right, we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna be talking about some trending topics today. Right, there's a lot going on in the world, a lot going on in the news, and we're gonna be covering Trump versus Zelensky, the Oscars versus Drake, crypto Trump pump, and the Drake versus iHeart Media. All right, case. All right, let's jump right into it. All right, if you haven't been living under the rock, Zelensky came to the White House to meet with Trump, and to say the least, it was a cluster. All right, it started off cordial, um, but Barb started getting traded. Ended up, I thought it was going to turn into a fist fight. It was some pushes, done, some touching done, and like it was definitely a war of words, and to the point where I mean, the White House ended up kicking Zelensky out of the White House, bro. What
Right.
what are your thoughts? What are we doing?
I don't know the complete backstory well enough to give, a well-informed opinion. However, based on what I saw, it seemed like the conversation got a little disrespectful, you know what I mean, from
Yeah,
both parties at some points in times during the conversation. And
definitely.
from one boss to another, my preference, where I think what's just do in those situations is that those are private conversations, maybe with a few of your guys or associates, few of my guys or associates, and we can have this conversation where we may cross those lines to try to get our point across, and at the
Right.
end we come to our decision. If you have to get kicked out, you get kicked out, what have you. However, all of that's done behind a closed door without cameras. That
So
way,
so hold on, hold
if a
on.
fist fight does break out,
Right.
hey,
And so this is another key point to add to that, right? Or to explain. Zelensky asked for this conversation to be in front of cameras. This is one
okay,
thing I just found out. So he
okay,
intentionally wanted this conversation to be in front of cameras. But go ahead.
right. Interesting.
Very
Very interesting.
interesting, bro.
Yeah,
Crazy. Honestly, it almost feels like he kind of wanted this to happen, and being unbiased, like looking at his body language and the way that he was responding to the things that they were saying,
right.
it threw it. I was taken aback to say the least. Right, just
Mhm.
about the crossing of the arms, the eye movement, the raising of the eyebrows, kind of like eye rolling, and the posturing. You
Right.
know, and it's like as the meeting went on, it intensified. And it almost seems like that Trump and Vance picked up on that, and they called him out about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we are hosting, right, a dignitary from another
Right.
country. Like, why be so forceful
Right.
um and even go so far as to kick him out? Like, dang,
Sometimes you
um,
gotta pop out and show. So I mean,
oh,
if
here we
he
go.
asked for the media to be present,
Yeah,
maybe that was his play. Like, I'm going to enter the room and I'm going to, assert myself a certain way,
right,
um, which definitely warrants, a show of force. So
right.
it's a two-edged sword, man. It's good that the media was there because the people actually do need to see and get, understand understand what's really happening, so we're better informed. But at the
Yeah,
same time, it's kind of like distasteful, you know what I mean, to see,
right.
essentially boss talk that should occur, or what traditionally occurs behind closed doors.
This is true. Yeah, yeah, 100% right about that. And the reality of the situation is, at the end of the day, lives are being lost, right, in this war.
Exactly.
So I agree. Like, peace
Exactly.
needs to be found. Like, it's like hundreds of thousands of people have died in
Right.
their war, and like that's not cool, of course, right? So a solution needs to be found. You know.
Right.
But yeah, moving right along. Next up, we got the Oscars, right? So the big thing that happened during the Oscars, right, where everybody is talking about, blowing up social media right now, is the fact that Conan O'Brien threw a shot at Drake and said something to the effect of, "It's halftime during the Oscars, so or we're halfway through the Oscars, and Kendrick Lamar's gonna, pop out and, call Drake a PDF." You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was watching the Oscars when that happened. I'm like, on at the Oscars, like, here we are a year, you know what I mean? Like, from when all of this stuff initially happened, and they're, like, still talking about this stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
And the audience, of course, laughs and all of that, and this I don't know. I'm not on either side, per se. But it's like, for one, that's diabolical. You know what I mean? To throw these types of disses and accusations even across to your competitor. And then though, for other people to keep picking it up and running with it, right? Did the Grammys, Super Bowl, now we're at the Oscars. Like, okay, all right, all right. What's
Right.
your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things, man, where initially the joke is good, but after a certain amount of time, the joke expires. It's not as funny anymore, and
Right.
whenever it's attempted to, someone attempts to use the joke again, it's more or less like we don't want to hear this joke anymore. The next one.
Right.
Um, But to this point, though, I feel like there hasn't been any, real situations to come up in regards to that in terms of like legally, if that's actually true or what. Nobody,
Right.
I haven't, no victims or anybody like that has come out. So I think, move on. Which I think, Drake seems to have. Okay, maybe not more so moved on, but he's still doing this thing. He's on tour, he's doing this or that. So, but yeah, it
Yeah,
just seems like, an old joke now.
yeah, and that's the other side to this too, right? If anyone else, if Conan O'Brien, right, was in that position where somebody accused him of something that he
Right,
didn't do, how
right.
would they react? And you're at the Oscars, right, where you have what's your guy's name? The dude, uh, the big dude that was accused, or like convicted of all that stuff, like Epstein. You
Yeah,
have Harvey Weinstein,
right.
whatever his name is,
Exactly.
who actually, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like, these people actually had
right. Where's
the
that list?
the
Where's the list? You know what I
where's the
mean?
list?
Where's the list?
Where are those jokes, right?
Right.
And I mean, you're at the Oscars. The movie industry has known to be, that type, or to,
Exactly.
play around that type of stuff, right?
They have
There are
those
way
stories
more people.
lingering around.
There you go. And y'all got the audacity to let this joke fly, right? To me, it's kind of not funny. You know what I mean? To accuse somebody of that kind of stuff, because this man has a kid, right? Family members, et cetera, business dealings. Like, that's not cool. And like I said, if anybody else was in this position, they would be highly pissed off, and ready to sue too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I was not expecting to see that at the Oscars. And like you said, the joke is kind of lame and played now. It's like, all right, Next up, next up, we got the Trump crypto pump, right? The Trump pump, the Trump effect, right? So Trump, was it yesterday, day before yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Released a statement saying that officially the U.S. is going to have strategic crypto reserves, with coins such as XRP, Cardano, right? US based crypto tokens are going to be a part of the strategic crypto reserve. This is huge news, and it caused the markets to pump like majorly, right? Um, and this is this is what, the crypto community has been waiting for, bro. Did you see that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I watched the market tank, over the last few days.
Right.
Um, I
Yeah.
mean, it tanked bad, 10% here,
Yeah.
15, 20% there, 25%. Um, so a lot of drops happen, and then this news comes out, and then of course the market reacts to the news, and
Right.
then we start to see those gains come back in, 10,
Right.
20%. Um, Current price, of record at this very moment, Bitcoin is hovering around like 90,000, which it was, it already crossed the 100,000 barrier, and it's been
Right.
kind of falling back. But so
Right.
yeah, I mean, I think it's good, man. Overall, even though the market may have taken a hit, overall, when you zoom out and look at the overall perspective over the course of an extended period of time, it's going up, and so I think it will continue to do so. Definitely not financial advice, but with this administration, openly backing crypto, I definitely think, the market will be in position to continue to go up.
Yep, as the old adage says, when in doubt, zoom out. Right, when you're looking at stocks and
Yep.
investments and stuff like this, it's definitely trending up. I think the high of Bitcoin was around 108, 109, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, and so what were last year at this time, where were we at, like 50, 60, 65, or something like that? So yeah, still up. When in doubt, zoom out. Right. So
Yep.
next up, in more Drake news, right? So nowadays it's like people are mentioning, like, Drake stays in the headlines, bro. And it's almost getting ridiculous. Like, let this dude live his life. Let the dude make music. But in the lawsuit, right, that they have against Universal Music Group, as well as Spotify and iHeart Media, and I guess the OVO camp has reached an agreement, right? They have reached a settlement, an undisclosed settlement, and we know what this typically means is that they may have been found in the wrong, and they're backing off of it and saying like, "Hope, you got us. Uh, here's what we agree to, and we'll just kind of fade off of this." The lawsuit with UMG, though, is still in effect, and I'm not sure if Spotify is still, like, in the mix. I think they are, but this is good news for the OVO camp, right? Because otherwise they would have doubled down. Our Heart Media would have doubled down and said, "No, like, we're cool. Like, no, we'll fight this." But um, here you have it. They've reached a settlement, right? What do you think, bro?
Yeah. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about this one. I mean, it's good that they've reached a settlement, I guess. I'm not really sure exactly what that means in terms of the song. Like, what does that mean? Can they not, say certain things in regards to the song or play the song? Or, I mean, because that's
Right.
really what it's about, I guess, right?
Yeah, so it's more so about the fact that they have been unfairly, the lawsuit is saying like, "Hey, okay, like, freedom of speech, somebody can say whatever they want to say on a song, but when I'm in my contract negotiations, don't and I'm also in a rap beef, and
Right.
both of us have songs out, don't boost one song up to make my contract value go down that I'm
Right.
now asking
Right.
for."
Right. Right.
Right? And you're not boosting mine. You know what I mean? So he's accusing them of paying companies like Spotify and iHeartMedia to play Not Like Us more than they're playing his stuff. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So he's saying like,
Yeah.
hey, if we're both under the one label, be neutral, right? Or promote us the same way, like in an equal way. Don't take one person's size over the other, especially and I think both of them are in contract negotiations. Actually, what was
Mhm.
actually going on, and so from the TDE side, their thing was to, or UMG was trying to prove to their or PG Line, whatever label that Kendrick was going with, is to prove their worth. Basically saying like, "Hey, let us show you how we can promote you if you join our label." Right?
Right.
And on the flip side, they were saying to Drake like, "Hey, you're not worth as much as you think you're worth, and we're going to
Right.
show you that you're
Let us
not
show
worth
you.
as much
Yeah.
as you
Sounds
think."
like, like the whole conflict of interest thing.
Right.
But as a company, you know what I mean? They have their own interests, which is the artist, but at certain times it seems like they may be more vested in some artists than others based on because artists to companies like those, it's almost like you have a portfolio
Mm,
that you're balancing, you know what I mean? And so
right.
at some points in times, you may invest more in a particular asset than others,
And
for
that's
whatever
very
reason,
true. Yeah.
So, I mean, from a business perspective, I kind of understand that where it's like, okay, it's time to renew your contract. You want $100 quazillion and you're not really worth that. And actually, we need to show you that the services we provide for you actually make a big difference, and so let us demonstrate, so
Right.
I understand that part, as well. So
Yeah.
but I mean,
It
business is
it
business, man. So yeah, you definitely got to,
right.
get involved how you can. They got to get the lawyers involved, get them involved.
Yeah, and that part is fair, and I get that part. But the part where it goes left is when you're promoting like false allegations against someone that could get them locked up. Like,
Man,
bro,
that's crazy. That is
what?
pretty wild.
That
Yeah.
is diabolical. Like, you're, okay, like, yeah, you want to prove your worth and prove how much you've done as a company, and you want to, negotiate, and I want a billion, and you're like, nah, we'll give you 600 million or something like that. But then on top of that, to have another person come and that's like, hey, he's doing this with little kids. It's like, whoa, nah, bro. That's what I found like quite shocking and quite just
Yeah. All in
diabolical.
all,
Like,
though,
this is a
I
dirty
think
game,
all
bro.
in all, I think Drake will be fine, man. At this point in time, he's dropped so much music over the last decade. He has,
And a half, bro.
he has real fans out there that are going to support him, especially if
Right,
none of this. I think everybody also understands that this was a rap battle and that
right,
those it's just a song. I don't think people are really looking into that to see is this actually true or did this happen. This is not there's no case or any victims that are coming out surrounding it. So I
right,
think people just take it as a rap battle and as an ongoing joke. It's not really a good joke, kind of a distasteful joke, but
right.
it's kind of an ongoing thing. But I think he'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Let's get back to the music, man. Him and
Right,
Party Next Door dropped an album called "Some Sexy Songs for You," and it's dope. G and X, Kendrick dropped. That's dope. Got some good tracks on there. Let's just get back to the music, man. That's what I'm on. Like, all of this dividing and this divisive like talk. I don't know. It's kind of blowing me, man. But let's get
right,
back to the music. Let's get back to the summer, man. What I'm saying? Summer coming up, springtime coming. Let's
right.
get to it, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. In other news, we're opening up a school, right? Not an actual school. We're moving the Dreamstream strategy to the school platform. It's spelled SKOOL.com. We're gonna leave a link somewhere in the description. So check that out, right? Where it's good. The League of Hustlers is going to school. So you can join the League of Hustlers school, right? Where we're going to have the Dream Stream strategy, which teaches you how to create, master, and maintain multiple side hustles, right? So we can level up in our lives, right? Of course, man, this is what we do. We share knowledge, we build wealth, we help you prepare to prosper. Any last words, bro?
Nope, that's it.
Yeah, man. So stay tuned for that. We're really excited about that. We're gonna be offering just more stuff, right? More ways to engage, more consistency for the school members, right? For the League of Hustlers members, right? On a weekly basis. So stay locked in, stay down. Make sure you're on the mailing list. And as always, let's get it, let's go. Follow for more. Chill.